Hello there, and this is my video on the final presentation of my project for the capstone class. I had chose to revamp and reface the city website for where I live, which is in Cromwell, Minnesota. What you're seeing now on the screen is the actual finished layout of what the website looks like today as it is right now. Before I had started this project, it was rather bland, to say the least, as to what the website looked like. It had changed very little since its inception in 2008. Here is a quick little snippet of what the site used to look like before I had done anything to it. I felt the colors were rather dull and boring. They didn't jump and pop at you. I felt when you land at this page for our town, it should kind of pop at you. And I also wanted to incorporate some colors of our local school, which is red and black for the Cromwell Cardinals. So I went with, as you see here, a black and red theme going on the page. We also chose to have a little bit of our American flag in there as well, just so it all ties patriotism, the support for our school. Along the left-hand side here, you see some pop-out menus or drop-down menus. Before, these menus were not very well utilized whatsoever, and they were missing some information. For example, in our news section, I'm going to turn on the old link and refresh the page. It shows, if you click on the old one right here, all of the info was just kind of thrown in there and not very well organized whatsoever. Now, if you look at it, you've got the news is right there with this drop-down menu, and it shows the different years that you can go through. And inside here, you can click on whichever news page you'd want to see, and so on. The next one I chose to work on was our city officials page. This is the new one. Here we got little snapshots of the folks in our city council and our mayor, and a brief about me section and some comments. I did have some members that chose not to have their picture publicized, which was fine. This was their choice to do, and we went forward with it. In the making of this site, this last position became available because the person that was in it had turned in their resignation. So I will show you what it had looked like before I had started doing any editing. So beforehand, if you went into the mayor and council page, this is a bad example. This one's not working correctly. We'll go with a different one. So when you would go into city officials, I'm going to use the city staff, for example, in this one. You just got their name, what position they had, and then some contact info. And on the new one, again, you got a picture of them and a little bit of about me, what they're doing and why they're there. I felt having a picture of these folks that was there just to help see them, put a face to a name when you're out in town. You can say, oh, hi, or be able to bring a concern to them. Before, it was pretty, unless you knew who the person was, you weren't able to just, pick them out of a crowd. So I felt by doing this, it was able to, put that name to that face. Another one I had worked on was the city council and minutes. Again, I grouped them by year, and inside there you can click on it. It'll bring you to that year. Otherwise, you can click on this button here itself, and it'll bring you to that same exact list of options. So you've got two ways of getting there. Before, this page was another unkept disaster of things, I felt like. And right here it shows that it was just kind of haphazardly tossed in here with no real. And here's the old one. The last time they had done a year was 2014. So they were doing it, but then it just kind of fell to the wayside and we started doing this, which again I did not feel was a good representation for when people were trying to find information about our city. I wanted to keep it all together and all easily accessible. Another one that was a jarbled mess was the Cromwell Fire and Ambulance. Again, I took and did the same thing. I put it by year. There's the meeting minutes. You can click on this. And you scroll through here and you can click on your years. Just like with the city council minutes, it was all just dumped right here on this main page. And it just didn't look good. It was tacky. It looked like this. It was just dumped in here. So I took a lot of that away, and you had to do extra clicking on this one. Like if I wanted to see the meeting minutes here, I had to click on it here, and then I had to click on it again to get inside it to get to really what I wanted. And I didn't feel that was a good representation of what we had wanted to do and what I want for my town. So back to what we have here again. Another page that I took interest in updating was the tourism and businesses. I added a snapshot. I drove around town and just got these pictures of, just the signs, the billboards outside of our town. If they didn't have one, I got a picture of the building. And I just kind of had fun exploring around town to find things. Now, some of these didn't have a picture I could take of. So I did the best I could with what information I did have. Some of them I went out to the actual business website and borrowed their logo to fill in where I could. Some of them didn't have any kind of internet presence at all, so I wasn't able to fill some of those in. Another piece I had updated was our pavilion and meetings. Before, you used to click in this thing and it wouldn't give you very good information at all. Here's what the old one looked like in a moment. The old one was here. You had some, just random pictures tossed in there, and the text was all kind of jumbly. The drop down just had the agreement page. So what I did is I took and gave it a drop down again, where you could go into the photos or the agreement, or if you just clicked on it, it brought you to this page, which gives you a little blurb about what is going on. And it gives you options here at the bottom. You can click on the pavilion photos, and it gives a nice little slideshow that you can click through. The old photos did not show this playground. This playground is new as of a couple years ago. And so are some of these other outdoor fixtures for our citizens to play in. In a nutshell, this is what I had done. My local city mayor absolutely loved everything, and I feel like I did a good civic duty by putting this website together for everyone to see and feel refreshed about our town.